Are you thinking about doing a 2-1 buy down? There are 3 things I want you to think about first. I'm Shaheedah Hill, getting you over the hill to home ownership and helping you confidently buy your first home. First, a 2-1 buy down is a lender discounting your interest rate, 2% the first year, then 1% the second year, and then zero discount for the remaining 28 years on a 30-year loan. So if you start out at 7%, so 7% is your interest rate, they're going to give you 5% your first year, 6% your second year, and then you're back to 7% for the remainder of the loan. So as far as your payments are concerned, you're going to have the lowest payment that first year. The payment will go a little bit up the second year, and then the third year, the payments will normalize, but that'll be your highest payment. So the advantage of a 2-1 buy down is in the first 2 years, then your payments are going to be much less than in the final, 28 years of your loan. But there are 3 things I want you to think about if you're considering a 2-1 buy down. Number 1, this only makes sense if the seller or builder are paying for the cost of the 2-1 buy down, because essentially they're paying for your interest rate discounts for those first 2 years. And so it doesn't make sense for you to be doing it. It makes sense if it's coming out of somebody else's pocket. Number 2, you want to make sure that you're comfortable with the payment in year 3 and beyond. Because a lot of times you may be thinking in your head, I'll refinance by year 3 and I'll never have to make that payment. Even though with the lender, you have to qualify for that higher interest rate. Oftentimes what the lender says you can qualify for is not what you're comfortable with paying, because they're just looking at your debt to income ratio, that sort of thing. They're not looking at your other expenses. They're not looking at if you're investing or you're saving for retirement. They're not looking at those things. So you have to be comfortable with that payment, with your other expenses and your other goals, your other financial goals that you have. So if you're not comfortable with that payment once it adjusts in that third year, then you shouldn't do a 2-1 buy down, because a refinance is not guaranteed in year 3. So just make sure you're comfortable with that higher payment, not just the 2 years of the discounted payment. And then number 3, I want you to have your lender calculate whatever the seller is paying for that discounted rate in year 1 and year 2. If you apply those funds to buying down your rate or paying points, and they'll be fixed long term, how low could your rate go down? And that would get your rate to be fixed. So I have a video on points here. I advise you to watch that next, because you want to see if you use that same money to pay for points and have your interest rate fixed long term, is that a better option for you than to just have the lower rates in the first 2 years? Thank you so much. If you have any questions about a 2-1 buy down, please put it in the comments.